Welcome ladies and gentlemen to my Bullseye Stam DK burst build video for the Dark Brotherhood. So this is the updated version of the Bullseye build from Thieves Guild. I have made a few modifications. And just as a heads up, I also plan to do something with the sets, but Dark Brotherhood has to be on live first so I can get the sets there because they're not available on the PTS. I will put the video in the descriptions once I have it, plus I will make a note right here, and of course I will also do a new video so you know what I'm trying to do, but first I have to check if it actually works. Anyway, that being said, let's just check our character stats. So if I buff myself up, I sit at like 4.4k weapon damage, 35.4k stam, 24k health, and a little bit magicka. We use the shadow. So again, this is a burst build. We really have to kill enemies in a few seconds, which is not really an issue with this build because most people will die really quickly. If you get into sustained, into fights that take long, make sure to do heavy attacks so you restore a lot of stamina. Then, also I really recommend being a red guard, mainly because of this passive, Adrenaline Rush, because we get 1k stamina back every 3 seconds. That equals like 600 stamina recovery. It's crazy, especially in melee fights. It's really great. Okay, that being said, let's get on to the gear. Just to show you, when I buff myself, you see my Wrecking Blow sits at like 15k damage, my Dawnbreaker at 14.8k, it's only level 1, Take Flight sits at like 20.5k. So again, we have really high damage output, but the resource management is not easy with this build. It's really not easy to play, so you really need to understand the mechanics behind the build, otherwise you will not have fun. Anyway, let's get to the gear. Gear wise, we use 3 pieces agility, all the robust traits with weapon damage, 5 piece alchemist with divine trait. Basically, you should have divine traits on all your armor pieces if possible, because you want to buff our Shadow Mundus as much as possible. And everywhere stamina enchantments. I have 1 heavy and 6 medium. You also can do 1 heavy, 1 light, 5 medium. Or it's up to you. I just like the heavy chest because it gives us more armor. Then I use Bloodspawn for the ulti gen. The reason why ulti gen is important is because of the DK's Battle Roar passive, which I haven't even activated. So you see, when you activate the ultimate, you restore resources. So the faster we have our ultis ready, and Bloodspawn helps a lot, the faster we get resources back, so it's really cool. Then I use a Maelstrom Maul sharpened and a Maelstrom Bow sharpened. Now I know many don't have those, so what you can do is you can use a Lekis Maul sharpened and a Lekis Bow sharpened and the shoulder piece of Leki with a divine trait, so you get also another weapon damage bonus, which is cool. Plus you can put a poison and a disease enchantment on the weapon, which is really strong. They got buffed pretty hard. Now here, if you have the Maelstrom weapons, I use poisons, a Drain Magicka one and the Immobilize one. They're really strong. Plus, you remember when I take that away, you see adds 190 weapon damage. We still have those weapon damage even though we are using poison. You see 2986. Now let me find the poison. I drop it, it's still 2986, and it's not a UI error, I tested it, you still do the same damage. The only thing that gets removed is the enchantment, so your critical charge deals an additional 5.2k damage over 5 seconds. The weapon damage will still be there. Really important. You also could use a Pact's Bow, just because of the damage health enchantment, 5k unresistible damage. This crits for 5k in PvP, so it deals a lot of damage. I will make a note here in case Zenimax nerfs it till Dark Brotherhood launches. Anyway, that's it about the gear. You also can use Hunting's Rage and other sets if you want, but I really like Alchemist because it gives so much weapon damage and we get 2 health bonuses, so it's really cool. Anyway, let's get to the champion points. Champion points wise, I have 80 points into Mighty, physical damage increase, 27 in piercing, 30 in precise strikes. Yeah, nothing more has to be said here, but now here 30 points in shattering blows to increase our damage on shields, plus riposte. While blocking grants a 15% chance to return 5.7k damage to the attacker. So this can actually be pretty cool. Like I remember killing off a dude. I was blocking his ulti, and then the riposte killed him because I didn't even have to do something. So that's why I have 30 points in here. If you want, you can put it into melee weapon expert or bow expert to increase the heavy attack bonus damage. Nothing here. 40 tumbling to reduce the dodge roll and break free cost. 27 in tenacity to increase our resource gain from heavy attacks. 100 in warlord because the stamina cost reduction is really important. We don't need Mooncalf because we literally don't have any stamina recovery, so this is much more important. Then here I have 60, 60 and 47. It's up, like those two are most important. You can put more points into those and ignore this one if you want, mainly because of Unchained, 120 champion points. It for when you get stunned or like snared or something like that, disoriented, you get 80% cost reduction on your skills for 3 seconds, so this is pretty strong. You also can put points into resistance if you want to get something like one of those here, but I find dots more annoying than the critical damage thingy. Anyway, that's already it about the champion points. Let's move on to the skills. Okay, so now for the skills. As you see, I have made a few modifications, especially the order of skills changed. So a rally, great heal over time and a great burst heal. Critical rush deals a ton of damage. Our executioner got buffed a little bit. It used to deal 300% more damage, now it's 350. You can use the other morph, reverse slice, if you want to, because the reverse slice is not bad if there is several enemies, because it hits them both and it looks pretty cool. Then we are using Wrecking Blow. Got the small nerf, doesn't knock back anymore, but that is actually pretty cool. I will tell you in a second why. Molten Armaments, you see the second text, your own damage with fully charged heavy attacks is increased by 40%, so we deal a shit ton of heavy attacks, both ranged and melee. So that's also how we have to handle our resource management by heavy attacks. Then Dawnbreaker of Smithing, mine is only level 1, so if it's level 4 it will deal even more damage. It's basically a huge instant damage plus quite crazy dot afterwards. And now the key aspect of the thing is enemies hit are also knocked down for 2.1 seconds, so the knockdown makes this ultimate really dangerous. Then let's get to the second, to the bow bar. Silver Shards still deals a ton of damage, plus it hits quite a few enemies. If you want, you can use Poisoning Injection, it's really up to you. Play with the one you are more successful with. Then Noxious Breath, not mandatory, but it's pretty cool because it debuffs the enemy and it also kind of, like, the effect you get from it is huge, and I will tell you in a second why when I get to the combos. Draining Shot is nice because you can knock back enemies, which is pretty cool, with also a few combo thingies, and it actually heals you. So it's pretty cool. We don't stun people with Wrecking Blow anymore. It's either Dawnbreaker of Smithing or the Draining Shot if you want. We don't have any other CC skills except for Take Flight on the bar. Reflective skills, no more is to be said. Vigor here, great heal over time, and Take Flight. So now you have seen I have made a few changes. Molten Armaments is here now. It holds for 40 seconds, so it's pretty cool. Then what I do now, I will show you that later also when we get to the combos. Basically, when we attack an enemy, we use a Wrecking Blow. Right after the Wrecking Blow, we hit him with the Dawnbreaker. The Wrecking Blow doesn't stun, but the Dawnbreaker knocks him down. Usually, if you animation cancel it correctly, he doesn't have time to react. All you need is an Executioner and the dude will be dead. Unless he's in heavy armor with all impen and stuff like that. Then Silver Shards for me is still the favorite skill to use when I heavy attack, bow, shoot people with Silver Shards. Again, you can use Poison Injection. Now, there is a few skills you don't need to. For example, if you don't want Noxious Breath, you can use Shuffle if you want. It's really up to you. If you don't want any of those, you also could use Efficient Purge, because maybe it's really important to get rid of poisons and a lot of debuff thingies, but we are a burst build, so if the enemy doesn't die in a few seconds, we deserve to die, right? Then for combo wise, so why is this cool? Why is Burning Breath and Draining Shot cool? So what I do is I use Burning Breath. And the animation, like when you stand in front of me, you can't see shit. That's when I use Draining Shot. So I will use this Draining Shot, he gets knocked back if he doesn't block. And then I immediately use Take Flight, Weapon Swap, Executioner. This comes quite as a surprise. That's the reason behind. I will also showcase you this combo later on. Just some important passives for the DK, especially here again. Battle Roar gives you a shit ton of ultimate back, it's crazy. Not ultimate, scusi. Resources, stamina, health and magicka. Then Mountain's Blessing giving us 5% more weapon damage. So basically when we activate Molten Armaments we get this. Helping Hands, activating an Arf and Harbadillo restores 5% stamina, so that's also pretty cool. Every time we use this we get 5% stamina back. Again, those skills here are optional. You don't even need to use Dragonfire skill if you don't want to. You can use Fossilize if you want. It's really up to you what to use here. I just like the Burning Breath, Draining Shot, Take Flight combo, which is really cool. So that's it about the skills. Again, we hit really damn hard, and with the right combos you will kill most people, believe me. Okay, let's get to the few showcases I want to show you. So now I just want to show off a few of the combos you can make with this build. Again, I have tons of PvP videos with Xeloki on my YouTube channel. You can watch those if you want, just to see how I manage my resources and how I play with the build. So maybe just watch out more my character and what skills I use, so you get the idea behind the build. Then a few other things. Camo Hunter got nerfed, so it's not really useful at all anymore. Doesn't do any extra damage. So it doesn't really matter because it was OP anyway and we still have enough damage. Then another thing that again I will showcase this on the Paxpo just to show you that you don't need a Maelstrom weapon. Then Molten Armaments takes you out of stealth. It holds 40 seconds, so you have plenty of time, but maybe you want to make sure you always need to position yourself correctly so the enemy doesn't see you, right? That's the thing. So now I want to show you one combo We charge a heavy attack, keep the heavy attack button pressed, then press silver shards. Both attacks go off at the same time, hit the target at the same time. We immediately swap to the first bar, use crit rush and then executioner. Again, this dude has 26k health. A lot of people have less health in Cyrodiil. Buff up, shoot, weapon swap, and yeah, he would die if I had done the execution right. So it's really not hard to kill people off, because you see my silver shards hits for 6k, my crit rush is like 10k, and if my heavy attack had critted, he would have been dead. If he had 20k health, he would have been dead. This is medium armor, so light armor people would probably die even faster. So that's the first combo. So now to the next combo. What we will do is a Wrecking Blow, heavy attack, executioner. Just to show you the Wrecking Blow, it doesn't stun enemies anymore, right? Because it got removed, the thingy. That's actually not even a bad thing, because I will show you that combo in a second. Now let me just buff up, and now I do a Wrecking Blow and then a heavy attack, and he's a rip. It's really easy to kill people, and you see both of those things didn't even crit yet, right? So it would be really easy to kill off people. If they don't block or don't dodge throw, they take a hard hit. I hope I'm not gonna kill him. So you see, I will use Burning Breath, Draining Shot, and then take flight. Basically Burning Breath, it's really great, and they will not see Draining Shot coming, but you don't really need it, so you also can only use Draining Shot. It's really fast. And the thing with it is, you see people are getting knocked back in the air, and they can't really break free fast enough to get not hit by the take flight. So I do this, and then take flight. And the executioner, and he's dead. But that combo is really deadly. That is also why I swapped Dawnbreaker with the take flight. That's the main reason. And again, once you use take flight, you immediately can swap to the two-hander and use executioner. He will most likely be dead before he can react. Okay, let me rest that dude. Now another combo. As I said again, what you can do is, there is basically two ways. Wrecking Blow, heavy attack, Dawnbreaker, executioner, or Wrecking Blow, Dawnbreaker, executioner. So let's see, buff up, use this. You see, they die so fast, it's insane. I couldn't even do an execution, he was dead before. And you see, my Wrecking Blow hits really hard. Dawnbreaker 8k non-crit. It's insane damage. If it had crit, probably would have been insta-dead. And then I just animation cancelled the bash in with the, yeah, and he was dead. Again, it really depends how fast the enemy reacts to certain things. Also, of course, it is harder to kill off heavy armor targets than light or medium armor targets. But it's kind of up to you who you choose to fight, right? A heavy armor dude will not be able to follow you. It's like you can kite them around really easily. And the light and medium armor dude shouldn't be any issue at all. Then again, it is not easy to manage your resources with this build. So that's about it. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you soon.